become more faithful? I mean, does faithfulness have to do with that?
It does, but you have to be very careful. Again, there are no glasses that you can wear on and be able to determine that this decreases your faith or increases your faith. You have to be the judge of yourself, in the sense that you cannot exclude yourself or isolate yourself from the whole universe. You have to live, you have to work, you have to study, you have to mix with people in order to live. You're a social animal by nature. You know, you cannot just isolate yourself. But this form of intermingling and mixing with people, you have to be very careful to determine, does it increase your faith or decreases it? So if you find out that it is decreasing your faith, you have to prevent yourself from it. So even if it was your work, even if it was your school, even if anything, because at the end of the day, you have priorities. Your priority as a Muslim is to preserve and protect your faith and to protect your iman.
Good.
Yes, I want to ask a question about the value of knowledge in Islam, and I want to ask, is it important for the believer to have a deep knowledge in his faith, as if he walk along his life on the backdrop of ignorance, this will lead him astray. So let me know more about how knowledge is important in one's life.
Knowledge is extremely important in a Muslim's way of living, because without it, you could not determine the things that increase your faith or decrease it. Because if you don't have knowledge, how would I know that this particular action or transaction may increase or decrease my iman? Allah Azza wa Jal in the Quran told His Prophet, know that there is only one God worthy of being worshipped, and then ask Allah for forgiveness. So asking is working, is work, it's a form of deed. But before that, you have to have the knowledge. You have to know things that you can benefit of and things that can harm you. If you have this proper knowledge, you can go all the way without any problem, in the sense that you can react with the community, you can be a positive person, and you can stay away from the things that harm you with knowledge. If you know that Allah Azza wa Jal is watching you, if you know, and this is knowledge, and this is on the top of the list of knowledge, to know that Allah is observing you, Allah Azza wa Jal is watching you. If you know that if you do this particular action, the punishment would be so and so and so. But if you do not do it, the reward would be so and so and so. This increases your faith, increases your iman by reaching this knowledge.
Sheikh Asim, about becoming or increasing your knowledge, is it the same? I'm sorry, increasing your faith. Is it the same for males as for females? I mean, for females to increase their faith, is it the same way that males should do?
Males and females in Islam are equal in the religious side, in acquiring knowledge, in protecting themselves. But there is a great role on females in the sense that they are the cause of great temptation to men. So their faith is increased by keeping their chastity, by staying away from exposure, by not exposing themselves to men. This is something very important to increase the faith in the community as a whole. But other than that, females are requested, the sisters are requested to read and recite the Quran as the brothers are. They're requested to keep praying on time like the brothers are, to stay away from things that decreases their iman, exactly like the brothers.
Okay, and what about dress in terms, again, for the females, wearing the veil, for example? Some females, for example, with work, it's a problem, and some countries prohibit it. Is wearing the Islamic dress something that also increases a female's iman?
again, wearing the Islamic dress is part of the deeds that one does. So it's something that is positive. If you do it, it increases your iman. If you don't do it, and lots of the sisters don't do it in some countries, and still insist that they are still believers and mu'min, well, actually, their level of iman has been decreased dramatically because of this. They're not only wrong to themselves, they are causing wrong to the whole community. If you smoke on your own, it's your own mistake. It's your own fault. But if you smoke in an environment where passive smokers are around you, you are harming them. So the sin is far greater than the other one. A sister that does not wear the veil is a Muslim. She did not nullify her Islam, but she's a bad one. It's like the brother that does not pray in the masjid. He's a Muslim, but he's a bad Muslim, providing that he prays home. But if he doesn't pray at all, then he is out of the loop completely. He's not a Muslim. Therefore, I still say that if a sister wears the hijab, she is doing something positive to increase her iman. And the more attacks she is getting, the more people attack her because of what she's wearing, the more iman and good deeds she is accredited.
So the more persistent she is in wearing it, despite the situation or the society, it makes her more faithful.
Of course, and see, it's like gold. The more you burn it, the purer it comes. And this is a Muslim. The more attacks he's receiving at the side of Allah, of course, not because he is a criminal or doing something wrong. No, he's attacked only because of his belief. The more stronger he is.
I'll go straight to Muhammad, who has a question now.
Okay. There is a point I couldn't understand it till now. How can I know that my faith increased or decreased? Is there a sensor, or it is an inside feeling, or there is something happened to me that show me I have decreased my faith, or what?
Unfortunately, there is not a sensor or a gauge that tells you that your faith has increased or decreased. But generally, and sometimes it can be deceiving, because if you go to the majority of Muslims who are doing sin, who are not doing the obligatory things that they're supposed to, you could go to someone that does not pray in the masjid, does not fast Ramadan, his wife, sisters, daughters are all, uncovered, wearing Western clothes and exposing themselves. And you talk to him and he says, yes, I'm a very strong believer and I feel that I'm an excellent Muslim. So this is deceiving. There's no sensor that tells you.
This is the point. So how can I know?
Unfortunately, you can't. All what you have to do is keep on.
Try to do as good as possible, to do as many good deeds as possible,
and hope for the best. And that is why Allah Azza wa Jal tells His messenger in the Holy Quran, فَعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى أَتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. Worship Allah Azza wa Jal until you die. And then you know. So as long as you're doing the best you can, then Allah Azza wa Jal will reward you with the highest rewards possible. But who knows if this is the best you can or not? It's only Allah Azza wa Jal. So there is no sensor that tells you that your iman has increased or decreased. You can roughly estimate by looking at your track, at your record. If I'm doing good deeds and I'm away from bad ones, then inshallah, let's hope for the best. But if you are indulged in bad deeds, and you're not doing the obligatory things, and your heart is filled with hatred, cheating, lying, envy, and so on, then you have a problem, definitely.
Big problem.
Okay.
Okay. Is the Western concept concerning the problem of faith identical to the Islamic one or different than it?
Muslims in the West, you mean?
No, I mean the
Faith for non-Muslims and faith for Muslims, for
in the
example?
Western perspective. Is it identical to the Islamic one or different than it?
No, it's different, because they teach you, in accordance to every religion, that there are sets of beliefs that you have to believe in. and they definitely do not match the Islamic belief. Maybe they share some. For example, there are components that are shared by all religions,
Like
such
what?
as honesty,
Yes.
such as modesty, such as chastity, but then you have to define these things as an Islamic terminology, not as there, because, for example, if you go to the West, to any